Welcome to Pigskin Passion TV. Today is October the 17th, episode number 23, and we back. Another week of fantasy under our belts. And I must say, man, it really feels good to get back to the winner's circle and to get a dub, especially when you give a team their first defeat of the season. And just think, man, the parallel to how this works. I defeated this guy. It was his first loss. He had Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey on his team, and they lost their first game of the year. It's crazy how this fantasy thing works. But yeah, we back, man, and let's jump right into waiver wire pickups for this week to see who may be able to help your team out and who you can kind of scoop up off the waiver wire. And let's kind of jump into the running backs. With Christian McCaffrey getting hurt this week, I don't know if he's going to be able to play the next game, and I definitely don't know how long he's going to be out. So probably need to look at his backups. The first backup is Elijah Mitchell, who I would highly doubt he's available, but if he is, you definitely need to go out there and pick him up. He was actually injured himself. He returned back from a 2-week injury. He didn't get a whole lot of carries last week. I don't know if that was because the 49ers were just being cautious. You know, they were actually playing on a wet field last week, so I don't know if they were just trying to lower the risk of him getting hurt again. But he has also led the team in rushing. He led the 49ers in rushing in 2021, and the other running back that they have on the team, Jordan Mason, he's out-carried him 9 carries to Mason's a little bit over 2 carries. So it sounds like when he's healthy, he is the man, but we just don't know at this point in time. But if he's available, definitely put a waiver wire bid in to go out there and scoop him up. That leads me to Jordan Mason, who is also 49ers running back. Last week, he out-carried Mitchell 5 carries to 2, and he also had a tutty. And I'm not sure if it was because they think he's more talented than Mitchell, or if like I say, Mitchell, they were just trying to be cautious with bringing him back. But even being a number 2 behind Mitchell, you still need to go out there and scoop him up. Any skill player in this Kyle Shanahan offense, it's definitely a must-have. So either one of these guys, if you're able to go out there and get them, please go out there and scoop them up. And if you listened to me last week, just a little humble brag, if you listened to me last week, you should already have Jordan Mason on your team. The next running back that I would go out and scoop up or try to get if you're in the need for a running back would be Latavius Murray with the Buffalo Bills. He had 12 carries last week for 45 yards and seemed to take on a bigger role once Damian Harris was out hurt. He actually ranks 4th among running backs with six carries from inside the 5-yard line. So he could be like a TD Vulture, even if he doesn't get a whole lot of carries. The carries that he gets are inside the 5, which gives him opportunity to put touchdowns on the board. So I would go out and get him if you're in need of a running back. Another running back that people probably would have their eye on, especially if you had David Montgomery in your league, is Craig Reynolds. This could be a favorable situation for him, as the Detroit Lions, they rank 4th in league scoring. They're 4th in total yards, 6th in rushing attempts, 4th in yards per play, and they're just 21st in yards per carries. Kind of leads me to believe that no matter who's back there, they could put me back there and you're still going to be a productive running back. So this may be a pickup that you want to go out and pursue. Even though this week they are playing the Baltimore Ravens, which could be a little bit of a challenge for the running back position, but the following week they play the Las Vegas Raiders, who that will be a fun matchup for a running back. So Craig Reynolds is somebody you may want to look at. Another running back that you may want to go out and target is Zach Evans. Both Karen Williams and Ronnie Rivers got hurt last week, so kind of thrust Zach into being able to be the only running back out there on the field to get some playing time. And I don't know a whole lot about him. He played at TCU and Ole Miss, and he wasn't the man at either one of those schools, and he was drafted in the 6th round. So to say he's a talented running back who's going to take advantage of this opportunity, who knows? But at the very least, I think he could get a lot of action just being the only running back, getting touches back there in the backfield. And they're playing the Steelers this week, so, it could be a tough matchup. And who knows, the coaches may not even trust him to give him the bulk of the carries. They have another, can't think of the running back, a veteran running back that they may actually split carries with. So who knows? But Zach, if you're hard up for a running back, Zach Evans is definitely somebody out there on the waiver wire. And if you are like your quarterback is on a bye week this week, like mine, you may want to go out there and scoop up a couple of these quarterbacks that I'm about to mention. I don't have a whole lot of money to spend on quarterbacks, so I'm basically just getting whatever comes to me that I can get that I feel like is the best available. Josh Dobbs is my number one waiver wire pickup for quarterback this week. I'm actually gonna drop Anthony Richardson. I don't think he'll be back this year. He's gonna have season-ending injury surgery on his shoulder. So Josh Dobbs is somebody that I'm looking to scoop up. If for some reason I can't get Josh Dobbs, I'll go out and try to get Tyrod Taylor. And if Tyrod Taylor isn't available, then I'll go with Gardner Minshew. And if Gardner Minshew isn't available, guys, I might just be up the creek. I mean, I think there are other quarterbacks out there, but I really think this is the best of the bottom feeders that I have here. He's not available in my league, but he may be available in your league. If Sam Howell is available, that would be my number one quarterback, even before these quarterbacks that I'm naming here. He's been a top 5 quarterback over the past 3 weeks. With 21 points and averaging 21 points over those 3 weeks. And he also ranks 10th in passing yards over that span at 250 yards per game. And this is despite being sacked 34 times, which leads the league. So Sam Howell is somebody that you can go out and pick up if he's available in your league. Wide receiver wise, I mentioned this guy last week, so he may already be on your team, but Josh Downs is definitely somebody I would go out if you're in need of a wide receiver. I think he'd make a good flex, a solid flex player. He ranks 2nd on the Colts with 17% target share. And last week he only had 21 yards, but he also had eight targets and he had a tutty. So I think he's a very solid play for a flex position if you're in need of a flex player on a weekly basis. Josh Downs probably be your guy. And if you're hurting at tight end, these guys, well, I don't know if this guy may be available in most leagues. Jonnu Smith with the Atlanta Falcons. Going into last week, he was the number 12 tight end and tight end number 4 in scores the previous 2 weeks. And he's the number 2 tight end on their team, supposedly. And even being the number 2 tight end, he's averaging 5.5 more PPR points than Kyle Pitts, and he ranks 8th amongst tight ends. So Jonnu Smith will be a great pickup for you if you're in need of a tight end. Another tight end that's kind of come on the scene is Michael Mayer with Las Vegas Raiders. Last week he had 6 targets for 5 catches and 75 yards and a 67% route participation, which was his season high. He's 7th in receiving yards and 12th in PPR points per game over the past 2 weeks. So this may be someone that you would want to go out and pick up if you need a tight end this week. And as you guys know, I like to stream my defenses on a weekly basis. This week is no different. I'm pretty sure this defense won't be available, but just in case they are, Cleveland Browns is probably a defense you want to go out there and pick up. And if you're able to get them, I would just start them every week unless they have a bye. They are not only a good fantasy option, I think that they are a good defense for real. So they have some very favorable matchups during playoff time if your team is in contention to make the playoffs. In week 15, they'll play the Chicago Bears, and in week 17, they'll play the New York Jets, which is like favorable matchup, especially in the playoffs. So if they're available, I would definitely go out and get them. If they're not, these are the teams that I'm looking at this week. Number 1 on my waiver wire is the Seattle Seahawks. I'm looking to pick them up. Their defense is ranked top 10. Even though they're not very flashy, they don't get a whole lot of interceptions or fumble recoveries. They're a solid defense. And my number 2 option is the Las Vegas Raiders. They're playing the Bears this week. The Bears will be without Justin Fields, so I think that will be a favorable matchup to go out and get the Raiders. Even though the Raiders defense, they stink, but hey, 1 week I think they can put a little pressure on the backup quarterback and sustain and maybe put some points on the board. And my 3rd pick is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They play the Atlanta Falcons, which I think that game will just be who can run the ball. I don't think there'll be any passing in that game. I think it'll be a very, very low scoring game. So I think the Bucs would be a good play as well. If for some reason you don't have any of those teams available in your league, another team that I would go out or a couple of teams that I would go out and take a look at would be the Rams. They play my Pittsburgh Steelers, who cannot move the ball against my local high school. I think that will be a good play to go out and scoop up the Rams. Another good play would be the New York Giants. They're playing the Washington Commanders. And earlier in this video, as I said, Sam Howell has been sacked a league-leading 34 times this year. So I think that will be a good play as well. So hope some of these options give you value to go out there and get some good pickups this week and continue dominating your league. I hope you found value in this information that I gave. And a little PSA, spike that like, comment, and subscribe. And it's your boy, the Black Mamba, out.